What it do? Dream Team, it's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with Visit Germany. What to know before you visit Germany. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Let's see what we need to know by our guy in Wolters world.
Hi guys, Mark here with Wolters World, and we're in Berlin, Germany, from the Rotes Rathaus, or the Red Town Hall. And today what I have for you guys is some of the basic differences between the US and Germany in terms of things for tourists, okay? So the first thing I want to look at is language. Now, here in Germany, you know, people will speak English and some foreign languages, so if you don't speak German, you'll be okay, but be nice and learn a few words like danke, thank you, okay, and it does make a difference, but just know that most likely you'll bump into somebody that does speak English to help you, which makes it a lot easier. Now, in the US, yes, people will speak English and a lot of people will speak Spanish, but German is very seldom defined, so really if you're coming to the US, you really need to know English in order to get basically anything done. So be careful with that. So make sure you learn obviously some more English before you come, because Germany, you'll be okay with German and English. The US, you'll be okay with basically English. All right? Okay. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the money.
And that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, they say in Europe, you over there, most of them be learning multiple languages. We're over here in the US, we basically just learn English. Yeah. Over here, it's hard to survive without being able to speak English.
Now, here in Germany, they use the euro. And the euro comes in, you know, bills and coins. The bills, there's a 500 bill, a 200 bill, 100 bill, a 50 bill, 20 bill, 10 bill, 5 bill, and then they have coins that are actually worth something. Like a €2 coin is actually $2.60. That's one coin. And you see people like give away their coins. Oh, this isn't worth anything. Here in Germany, your coins are worth stuff, and just know the coins are the same on the front, but the backside can be different. Just like the quarters in the US, the backsides are different. Now, money in the US, we use dollars, but we use our credit cards more than they do here. So be prepared, because not everywhere takes credit cards in Germany. A lot more places do now. It's not much of an issue, but just know it's not like in the US. Now, in the US, with the money we have, you have the $100 bill and the $50 bill, which almost nobody will accept because they're worried about stuff. So if you're driving around and you get hundreds out of the ATM, if you're in the US, sometimes gas stations won't even take a $100 bill, so be prepared for that. But they have the
I just don't be having the change to give back. They just so yeah, they really don't take them too often. They don't take them too often.
The 50, the 20, 10, 5, and $1 bills, and then they have coins, 25 cents. There's a dollar coin, but no one ever uses it. Basically, you have 25 cents and less, and those are kind of like worthless coins. So that's why when Americans come to Germany, I see like, oh, I got all this worthless change, and I think, guys, that's like $50. That's not $2 in coins. That's like $50. So that's another thing you want to look at.
That makes sense.
Another thing when we look at money.
That makes it. Yeah, I feel we need to do away with some of the change. You can keep the quarters. I feel like everything else we might could do away with.
The ATMs in the US, most of the time, if you put your ATM card in, you'll get English and maybe an option for Spanish. Whereas here, the ATMs in Germany will come up in German, and they will have an option for English. Just look for the English thing on there, and it'll pop up. Also, between the US and Germany, the money and the cards come out different times. So one, the card comes out first, then the money. The other one, the money comes out first, then the card. And I've seen people forget money and forget cards because they're used to the other system, so pay attention to that. Now, in terms of payments, here in Germany, cash is king, even in large amounts. I mean, I paid for a tour bus here today. I had to pay 890 euros cash, okay? Like, walk around with $1,000, like, what? But that's how it works. So just be prepared for that. In the US, people kind of prefer to pay with card, so make sure you have a card and your like Deutsche Bank, oil credit, you know, or whatever, your debit card from Deutsche Bank sometimes doesn't work. So you want to make sure you have a credit card like a Visa or MasterCard in the US. And for those Americans coming to Germany, if you have a card with a chip in it, you have a better chance of things working than if you don't. But most of the times, if you're looking to get money out of the ATM, you want to go to a Commerzbank or a Deutsche Bank okay, one of the big German branches, they usually take US cards. Or if you're going to the US, then you're basically, most of them will work because they're all kind of on the same system. Now next we look at the plugs. Now in the US, the plugs are two flat things like this, and if it's a computer there might be a circle plug in the middle, but it's like this. In Germany, it's like two circle plugs going in. So the plugs are different, crazy. And the voltage. That's why if you bring your hair dryer, it's going to blow it up, okay? Your computer will be fine because it has that little box either direction, but just know that the plugs are different and you can't just shove them in. So just to warn you on that one. Now the next thing.
It's crazy. All the differences between the US and Germany are just interesting, but just such little differences that you wouldn't think about. That would probably shock you, like the plugs. It's crazy to learn.
Tipping. And when you go to restaurants in the US, let's just go over. So the next thing we have are restaurants. Now in the US, we're used to service people coming like 50 times, asking us what we want, how's our meal, when would you like to order, I'll come back. You don't have that in Germany, okay? In the US, they'll sit you down, they'll give you a menu, you can look over, they'll come ask for a drink. If you're not ready, they'll come back a few minutes later, you know, and things kind of move along. Now in Germany, they'll sit you down, service will not be so great, I'll warn you now, they'll be professional, but they won't be very friendly, and they don't come back very often. So when they come back and ask you for your order, be ready right away in Germany. Be able to order your drinks and your meal right then, because they're not going to come back for another 5 to 10 minutes, and you're going to go like, oh, I wanted to order, and they're not coming back. So that's one of the things that drives me nuts when I come here. I'm like, guys, have your food order ready so we can order drinks and food and be done with it. Okay, so that's things you want to look out for. Is Germany, order right away. US, you have a little more time to order. Now, when you pay and you pay in the US, you tip. Okay, tipping in the US, you need to do that because the workers, they only get paid tips, and they actually make more money off tips than they would if they had a minimum wage. Hence why they are nicer, because they're wanting more money. Hey, that's money kind of makes the world go around, apparently.
Facts.
And so tipping in the US is 15 to 20% based on how good the service is. Okay. Now in Germany, you don't tip. If you do tip, you can tip 5 to 10%. And if you have big groups, a lot of times they'll put an automatic 19% gratuity on there. But if you don't have a big group and they already put that gratuity on there, watch out, because that's one of the ways. That's something that happens a lot in Europe when they get tourists for the extra money. But just know, Germany, no tipping, or 5 or 10% maybe. US, tipping 15 to 20% at sit-down restaurants is the norm. Okay. Now the next thing you want to talk about.
Facts. And I know what you're going to say. Our companies need to be paying our servers more. I completely agree. Regular customers should not have to tip on top of what they pay for the food. For these waiters and waitresses and employees to be able to survive, to be able to pay their bills. That should be put on the company.
Differences is service. Now in the U.S., Germans will say, "Oh, Americans are so fake because their service is so over the top." Yes, the U.S. service is over the top, but they are very friendly and they are very helpful. So that's very nice. Now in Germany, they are very helpful if you ask. Germany, they probably won't come up to you very often and say, "Oh, look, how can I help you? Can I get you more sizes?" But if you ask them, they will get it for you, and they'll be very professional with it. So think of it this way: German service, very professional, not super friendly. U.S. stuff, super friendly. Who knows if they're super professional or not? Okay, so that's one of the things there. Now, the next thing I want to look at is transportation. How are you going to get around the country? Germany, you're going to take the train, okay? The trains go everywhere here. Good timetables, simple to do. You can hop on and get your tickets. It's fantastic.
Cool.
The U.S., transport around everywhere, you are using your car. You have to rent a car to get anywhere. In the cities, the big cities like Chicago, New York, they have subway lines, and you're not going to drive there, but anywhere outside the big cities, you have to have a car, because there's not public transport, train lines that go to all these places. There might be, and there might be buses, but in the U.S., they're not that nice. Here in Germany, they do go everywhere. Also, in the city, there's going to be buses and trams and subways and all this stuff. In all the big cities and small towns will have buses and trams, so you can get around. In the U.S., small towns probably don't have any bus service, so again, you got to have a car to drive around. And the last thing for tourists,
a car is like a necessity here in the U.S. for sure. You need a car.
That are important is looking at your hotel. Now in Germany, if you ask for a double room, you'll get 2 twin beds next to each other. You want to push together for a little romance? You push them together. Okay? Now in the U.S., when you ask for a double room, you get 2 ginormous beds, 2 queen beds or 2 king beds usually. So if you're coming from the U.S. and you ask for a double room, you think, oh, that'll be fine for me and my kids. You're sleeping like smushed up. The kids are going to be on the floor. So just realize that maybe if you have more than two people, if you have like a teenager you're coming with, you're going to need a triple, because 2 double beds are not like a double room. It's not like a double room in the U.S., so be prepared. If you're a German going to the U.S. and there's 4 of you going, guys, you can get a double room and the beds will be big enough for 4 people. Plenty. Okay? And that's one of those things there. Also, if you're looking at one of the things that really gets a lot of tourists, hotel towels. In the US, it's a little bit fluffier and you can dry yourself. Hotel towels in Germany are basically sheets that you kind of wipe yourself off with. It doesn't really suck much up. So I hope that helps you get ready for going to Germany or the US. So these are just some of the common differences that I see around. I hope it helps you. If you want to learn more about going to Germany, 5 things you love and hate about Germany, top 10 sites here in Berlin, we have it all on our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, and we appreciate all your likes, subscriptions, comments, all kinds of stuff. So please have a great time. And if you have any comments about different things in Germany versus the US, please leave a comment below. I'd really appreciate it. And so will the others, so you can help. Bye from Berlin, Germany.
Gang, gang. So as you can see, there are definitely many differences between the U.S. and Germany, what you would expect. I mean, when you go to any different country, anywhere different, there's going to be differences. And shout out to Wolters World, because I feel like he gives you a lot of great information that's very helpful if you decide on traveling. He has so many videos of different countries and everything. It's awesome. That's all we got for this one. If you guys have a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. It's your boy Neal. Out.